y'all. This is So Blessed. Welcome to the Blessed Place. How y'all doing? Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, man, I'm all. Can y'all? Okay, I'm going to have to wait and see if somebody can hear me because I was supposed to be putting on my headset and I forgot. If y'all would have seen the struggle of me starting this video, trying to get this tripod set up, trying to get this camera focused. So let's see if anybody's coming. So, okay, y'all, I'm still trying to figure all of this out. So let's see if we can get this set up right. Come on in the room, y'all. Welcome to Monday's Musings. Yeah, I went with AJ's suggestion. I believe AJ suggested that. So I went with that because I loved it. I love that idea. So come on in the room, and I hope that you all can hear me. Let's just see. Somebody say something and tell me. Somebody tell me if you can hear me. Hi, can you hear me? So tell me, come on in the room, tell me if you can hear me. Hi, hi, Shalette. Nobody's saying if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Oh, okay, all right, thank you. Because I was supposed to be putting on my headset. I forgot. If y'all would have seen the struggle of me, okay, thank you. If y'all would have seen the struggle of me trying to set everything up, I'm trying to pay attention to the time because I done been out and about. I went to Red Lobster. I went walking, walked a couple of miles. Um, Came back and I stopped at the grocery store. Was putting some things away. Hi, thank you. Welcome everybody. So I was trying to be on time and set up this camera, and the struggle was real. Because as I mentioned yesterday, whoever caught me live yesterday or saw the video after, I'm like, this is a little nerve wracking because, I've been on YouTube probably about 13 years, but, I always edited my videos. And now we're talking about unedited. Well, anyways, so y'all come on in and we're gonna get started. I don't know what time it is. Oh, I'm so unprepared. I don't know what time it is, but I'm hoping that it's around 9:30. Hey, Derica, what time is it? Oh, okay, 9:34. All right. So you all, we're gonna go ahead on and get started. And what I'm going to do, I'll tell you how this is going to work. I'm going to tell you what the topics are, and we'll get right into our topics. And if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, I kind of would like for you to kind of hold them to the end. But if it's something that immediate, or you just saying something really quick that you're responding to something I said, then that's fine. But if I really got to pay attention and read and respond, then um, I'll tell y'all, I can't read these long paragraphs and dissertations quick enough. I mean, if YouTube would let the comments stay there long enough and I can read it, that would be awesome. But it doesn't. So let's just get right into this. So if you were on last night, or if you were not on yesterday, I did a live, and I made the announcement that I would be doing these Monday night topics each Monday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to talk about all kinds of things. But I asked my blessed ones what would they want to talk about first, and the majority of the people said, relationships, marriage, dating. So that's what we're going to talk about. One of my absolute favorite topics, other than Jesus Christ, is talking about love and marriage and relationships. I just love relationships of all kinds. Um, and so, of course, I just want to lay the premise, and I know most of my blessed ones already know this, but I want to lay the premise that anything that I say is from a Christian-based standpoint. I'm Christian. It's in me from a baby until now, and that's my viewpoint, a Christian-based viewpoint. So that's what you're going to get here in the Blessed Place. So let's talk about dating. So I don't know what the ratio of my audience. I don't know, how many people are married, how many are, dating. But if you can, and I know sometimes I might ask you something, and you might be, like I say, driving, you might be doing other things, you might, hands free, you might not be able to do what I ask, but those of you who can, I would love to see when I ask you a question if you will respond. And can you give me a ring, a ring? Anybody who's married, or you already have your wedding date set, if you put a ring, up there. And that way I'll know, who. And then those of you who are single, if you will put a like raised hand, emoji, or just type it. I forget that you can you can talk regular English. Uh, oh, I think I'm sitting at my desk, and you all, I might change and go sit at my I might go to sit on my chair just so I can get closer, because I can't even see these comments. Hey, AJ. You see, I took your advice. Monday's musings. Thank you for the name. That's what we're going to be calling these Monday's musings. Okay, so let's just get to it, because y'all know. Oh, you're single and dating. Okay. Hi. Hi. But yeah. Okay. Okay. So we got some single, some yes, yes. All right. So let's talk about dating. And of course, everything I say, just my tonight's we're talking about marriage and dating, and I just say, whatever I say, like I said, to each their own. You take what you want, and you rake in what you want, and okay, single, dating, serious, and yeah. So just rake in what you want and disregard what you don't want. But I feel like should be dating with a purpose, unless of course you don't have an end goal of just say marriage. And that's okay too. If you don't have an end goal of marriage, just say you've gotten out of a marriage, or you just decide you don't want to be married, and you just want to date just to get to know people, enjoy yourself, then that's all good. But my point is, I'm talking about women who are dating because they want to be married. If you're dating because you want to be married, again, like I say, my point of view is from a Christian standpoint, and I believe that he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor from God. You are the favor maker. However, you have to be a wife before you're even found. And I know that maybe sounds kind of crazy, like, okay, I'm not married, I'm single, how am I a wife before I'm even found? But we know that doesn't mean literally you are legally married. It just means spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, you are acting like a wife. And by acting like a wife, now there's kind of two meanings to that when I say acting like a wife. Now, we got some girlfriends who are in these long-term marriages acting like wives, and they shouldn't be. There's a girlfriend status, and then there's a wife status. And I hope that don't sound like a contradiction there, but we can get into that topic too. But we got some people who are in these relationships as girlfriends and longtime girlfriends, and you're acting just like a wife. So that might be one of the reasons he's not gonna wife you. Cause why should he? He's getting all the benefits of a wife. But what I mean is the way you carry yourself, the way you keep yourself, the way you live your life. You carry yourself and you live your life as if you are a married woman, meaning um, meaning that you you you're not just giving yourself to other people. You're just not giving yourself to any old person that comes along. That you take good care of yourself, self care. That you take good care of your home. That you are clean, that you are neat, that you are about your business. You're business minded. And when I say business minded, it doesn't mean you have to own a business. It just means that you know how to run a home. You're about your business when it comes to your bills. You're about your business when it comes to your finances. No, you ain't got to have it all together. No, you're not saying you got to have 800 credit score and have it all together, but you are always striving for more. You're always striving to do better. You're always striving to learn, change, and grow. That was a motto we had at our church when we had our church open: learn, change, and grow. Um, and so that's the way you're carrying yourself as a single person, especially a Christian single person. That's how you're carrying yourself, as if you're already a wife. Um, and then once you are carrying yourself as if you are a wife, then that's when a guy will just let me say, I'm trying to see, because I'm not one to beat up on guys, because I think guys are awesome. I really do think that they're awesome, but a guy will basically treat you how you let him treat you. A guy, whatever standard you set for yourself, whatever, and a guy will rise to that standard. But if your standard is here, this is where he's gonna treat you. If your standard is here, this is where he's gonna treat you. But when you raise your standard for yourself, a guy who wants you and cares about you and wants to get to know you and wants to build a relationship with you and possibly even build a future with you, he's gonna rise to the occasion and rise to your expectation. But long as your level of expectation is here for a man, then that's what he's gonna give you. Rarely ever if your expectation here and a man is going to rise up there. He's going to meet you at your level of expectation for him. And unfortunately, as women, we have such low expectation of men. And I think, there's a lot of different reasons for that. A lot of different reasons for that. But I think one of the reasons is that we get weary. We get weary in waiting. We get weary in our well doing. Uh, You know what? Hold on. Yeah, I think I'm going to hold on. Please forgive me for moving you all, but I'm just going to have to get a little closer because these eyes, I cannot see that far away. Oh, that's much better. Okay, so now I know for the future to put my camera right there. So forgive me because I didn't know I couldn't see way over there. All right, y'all see this is my office. Y'all see my Miss Pac-Man? My husband surprised me with that. Some of you already know that, but yeah, he surprised me with that. So, because my favorite game. But anyways, yes. So most men are going to meet you at your level of expectation. So you have to raise, your level of expectation for a man. And what I mean by that is, sometimes for us, if he works, that's okay. If he doesn't work, that's okay. Does he have a vision for himself? Yeah, yeah. I love it. I love it. But I haven't played it much in the last couple of weeks because it's just I was in the hospital and then we're recovering and then I came in here to play it probably a couple of days ago and that was the first time I hadn't played it in a while. Yes, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, my favorite. So, anyways. That's what I just encourage women. There's a lot more to that, a lot we can go, into, but that's one thing that I encourage us as women, young women, you know, uh, older women, whatever age you are, physically or spiritually or mentally. Um, let's raise our level of expectation for men because men will rise to the occasion, but we don't. And what we see other women accepting anything, so we think we have to accept anything in order to compete. But no, you don't. You don't. You don't. What you have to do is get comfortable being by yourself. comfortable being alone for a while until that time comes that that right person comes into your life who's going to love you, adore you, and reach a level of expectation. Oh, good question. Okay, the question was asked. What questions do you ask to vet properly? I love this question because I talked to a young lady about this one time. I had a friend. So my answers are, if I have an example, I love examples. When somebody explains something to me, give me some examples. So I had a friend who, well, I have a friend who she was older. She was, at that time getting to be in her late 30s, early 40s, and she wanted a husband. And she would tell me about these different relationships and these first dates and stuff, and she would tell me the things she say, and I would just be like, you. Okay. I would say that and this person is a probation officer. So like you're questioning these men like they're your probationers. You're going through the checklist and you're questioning these men like they're probationers, and like, how old are you, what's your birthday, where do you work, how much do you make, this, do you believe in God, do you go to church, and I told her, you have to learn the art of communication. This, okay, and listen to me, ladies, and let this resonate with you. When you are talking to a guy and you're vetting him, you vet him through the art of communication. And if you don't know the art of communication, YouTube it, read a book, study, um, but learn the art of communication. And the main art of communication is people remember how they felt about themselves when they were with you. Not how they felt about you, how they felt about themselves when they were with you. And that makes that person want to be with you more because I feel good about myself when I'm with her. And how you accomplish that is through communication, through the art of communication. You make it, first of all, you show interest, you're engaging, you're laughing, and I don't mean a false laugh. I mean, a real life, real laugh. But you're getting to know, you're vetting this person by communicating in a way where you are inserting those things that you want to know, but you're doing it in communicative style, and not in a probation officer checklist type of style. Because sometimes the way we communicate is like a checklist. Do you go to church? Check. Do you believe in God? Check. Do you how long you been at your job? Okay, 5 years. Check. And that's the way we communicate. So you're socially awkward and an introvert. Uh, you know, I know we're all kinds of people, and people wouldn't believe that I'm an introvert. But introverts can communicate as well. Introverts can talk to people as well. It's just that to me, introvert is like I get my energy. People deplete my energy, and to some people, talking to people gives them energy. I have a sister who's an extrovert, and she gets energy from being with people. My energy is depleted being with people. But it's community, and if you get what I'm saying, somebody give me an emoji, give me a hands up emoji, or if I'm not if I'm not making sense, give me a thumbs down. But if I'm resonating with anybody, give me a thumbs up, because without any comments, I don't know if I'm making sense to you or if it's resonating with you. But it's through the art of communication that you vet somebody, and you make that person feel good about themselves in that art of communication. Thank you. I appreciate that. So when I'm talking to you and I'm vetting you, it's like, where are you from? Where were you born? Oh, and then you go you take that a step further. See the difference between like a checklist is you're from one question to the next check, one question to the next check, one two questions to the next. But no, but you engage by going deeper and further. So it goes something like this. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from Sanford, Florida. Where is that? Is that near Orlando? I don't know much about Florida, but I do know Orlando and Daytona. Is that somewhere near Orlando, Daytona, or Tallahassee? You know what? So what I'm saying is you're engaging. It's right between Daytona Beach. Sanford is right between Daytona Beach and Orlando. Oh, okay. Well, how long were you born there? Were you raised there your whole life? You know. Oh, okay. And were you? How were you? Who were you raised by? Were you raised by your parents? How many siblings do you have? Oh, okay. And so where do you fall in? Are you the oldest? Are you the young? So what do you think? How did it affect you being the oldest child? How did it affect you being the youngest? Were you spoiled? So what I'm saying is you go into that conversation, you go deeper into that conversation, and people like talking about themselves. I don't care if you're an introvert, I don't care if you're extrovert, I don't care if you're a talker or you don't talk a whole lot, but people like talking about themselves and they like when people listen and are interested in them. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, yes, thank you. I appreciate it. But yes, that's the way you. But you engage with people, and when you engage with people, it makes people feel good. It makes people feel good about themselves, and it feels good that somebody's interested in you. It feels good that somebody's interested enough to ask questions, or even to ask questions that made you think. You didn't even. It's like, yes, I will save it. I will save it. I will make sure I save the live. Yes, yes, open-ended questions. Yes, very good. Yes, I will save it because I know I'll talk on, and some people have to go or can't stay or whatever. So anybody who came and you have to leave, I understand. It's like when you go to church. You go in church, you get a little word, you get a little praise, but you might have to dip. So thank you for coming. Anybody have to go, so I understand. But I would always save it. But and this is a whole video. I can do a whole nother live, or a whole nother video or a whole nother day on communication and the art of communication. Now I will tell you, I'm gonna say I don't know this. I don't know if this makes sense, but I'm not real good at small talk. But I love engaging. So I'm not real good at the weather is it's really nice weather today, huh? Or it's like I'm not good at it. But to get into your business, I'm good at that because I want to know. I want to know, where are you from? How were you raised? How many siblings do you have? Did you know your grandparents? Did you know both sides, your maternal and your paternal grandparents? Oh, you never got to meet them? Oh my goodness! What did your grandparents do? What did your dad do? Oh, what did your mom? What did your mom do? Were they strict disciplinarians? Did you have to go to church a lot? Did you never been to church? It's like I love to engage and I love, but you have to kind of like people. You have to kind of like, or fake it until you make it, but you kind of have to like people to really be engaged. And so that's what it is in a relationship. And I can take this whole video talking about engaging. My name is Stephanie. Oh, hi Stephanie, thank you. Stephanie. So anyways, I don't want to just use a whole video just talking about that, but that's a whole nother video, and we could talk about the art of communication in the art of engagement. But just let me just leave this with you. So as it relates to that question, how do you vet people on a first date? Is I'm telling you, try this. I want you all to try this. If you have your next date or your first date, it don't matter if it's been your fifth date already or your 20th date or your 50th date. But if you don't already do this, engage with the person. Put your phone away, not even on the table, not upside down on the table. Put it in your purse, put it away, whatever. Put your phone away and engage with the person and get into their business. That's just all it is. Get into their business. And some people might feel like, I don't want to ask this, I don't want to pry. No, ask and pry. But you do it in a communication, engaging kind of way. And it makes that person endeared to you and want to call you more and want to be with you more. And because they felt good having some attention to them. They felt good, somebody asking about them. They felt good purging. They felt good sharing. Very good question. I love that question. And I hope, I've said something that helped or resonated. But like I said, that's just a very, very tiny tip of the iceberg. We could do a whole video on that. And I can do that, some another time. Anybody else got a good question? I said a good question. Any question? Anybody got a question about dating, relationship, marriage? Because I'm better with answering questions than just kind of like throwing out, information out there. But until I get a question, I'll just go into marriage. So, um, awesome, awesome. So, and like I said, I'll just go into talk about some things about marriage until I get a question. If I get a question now, I'll switch topics. But as far as marriage, I would say that I'm going to say three things. There's so many more, but three things that's very important in a healthy, good marriage is, of course, that same old adage, the same old cliche of communication. You got to have good communication. Now, good communication means different things in different relationships. Everybody's communication is not going to be the same, and you don't want to get caught up in my husband doesn't communicate like other people, or I don't communicate like other people, or I'm an introvert and I don't. So, long as there's good mutual communication between you two, it doesn't matter that the way you two communicate doesn't look like the way another couple communicate. So that's one thing you want to know is that don't base your communication style on other people, and certainly don't base it on social media because y'all, some of these people out here faking the funk. We just telling it like it is. So don't base your communication style on, oh, look how he talks to her. My husband doesn't talk to me like that. Or, oh, look how they talk and they look how playful. Look, they're playful, witty banter, whatever. You might have a husband who's more stoic or more quiet or more introvert, or maybe you are, and maybe you all don't have that same witty banter back and forth, that same what look like fun, back and forth, or your communication style, but long as it works for you two. But communication is very important. Now, okay, wait, sideline what I was just talking about because this is a very good comment. It says some people talk too much and tell things that they shouldn't in the beginning of the relationship and the first few dates, and that is so true. There's this. I love country music. Anybody who knows me, been a blessed one long enough, know that I love country music. And there's a country song. I can't remember who sang it, but they're it's basically saying you want to talk about this, you want to talk about that, you want to talk about this, you want to. I want to talk about me. Let's talk about me because you want to talk so much. And sometimes in when you're first starting to date or first few dates, you're telling everything on the first date. No, let them unpeel you like an onion. Let them unpeel you. It's like on this date, you share that. The next date, you share more. The next date, okay, all right, good one. I'm going to answer that. Hold on. When did I know? Hold on. I got a little tablet because I don't want to be all over the place. Let me just finish this one where I said, ladies, on the first few dates, let him unpeel you like an onion. Meaning, if you tell a man everything there is to know about you on the first date, he has no good reason to want to see you on the second, third, fourth, or fifth date. He done heard it all. He know everything about you, and it evidently wasn't appealing enough for him to want a second date or a third date. So don't tell him everything about you on the first date. Yes, be open, share, be engaging, but you don't have to tell him your every childhood hurt, pain, all the men that did you wrong, everything. No, save some stuff. Save some stuff. It's like 16 years later. My husband, I mean, he knows me really well. I know him really well. But there are some times that he still looks at me with amazement, like, wow, my woman's smart. Oh, wow, I didn't know you knew that. Oh, wow, I didn't know you knew how to do that. And I too look at even with him, certain things. I'm like, wow. My man's smart. so so don't just spill your guts on the first date. And the second day, the third day, tell them, share a little this time, a little that time, a little. I'm not saying you got to be all mysterious and all that, but some people, you ever met somebody and they told you almost their whole life in the first spiel? So. Oh, shoot. I knew. I wonder, could I take a screenshot? Can you take a screenshot while you're in live? I don't know. Because some of these I might need to like answer later. Or anyways, you know what? Y'all might have to okay, you might have to I don't know. I don't know how this live stuff works. I'm learning. I'm gonna get it together, y'all. I'm learning. But I apologize. I just can't read all these long things because they disappear too fast. Okay, so let me just answer this. Somebody asked when did I know that my husband was gonna be my husband and was from the Lord? I did not know for many, many, many years. I met my husband. I was not in the Lord. I was out in the world. I was at a club. He was at a club. We were in Orlando, and he was at a club. I was in a club. Oh, thank you, AJ. Please, they say in the church, take all mistakes for love. Yeah, bear with me on my mistakes. I'm figuring it out. But I was how old was I? It was my second year of college. So I was probably 19 or something like that. And no, I'm sorry, I was in my third year of college. So I was probably 20. Um, I was in the club. Charles was in the club in Orlando. He came over and asked, "Can I have this dance?" And we danced. We went out on the patio. We talked. This club had a patio. We talked for hours on the patio. And he said when he left, he went home and told his mom that that he met his wife that night. Not me. That's not what I said. I didn't know he was from the Lord and it would be my husband till maybe 13 years later. 12, 13 years later, because from there he went on and had his life, and I went on separate, had my life, met my daughter's father, had a 5-year relationship with him, and had my daughter. And then later on, 2004 is 2000. So it was years later, and there's a whole story behind that. A lot of my blessed ones, know that long story, but no, I did not know. Yeah, yep. I did not know that he was going to be my husband until I would say if we got married in 2006, I might have known around 2004, 4ish, that okay, maybe this man is going to be my husband. And I'm going to share with you all. I'm going to share with you all what really just like sealed the deal for me. For years, I was single. And God had told me He was going to bless me with a marriage that was beyond my wildest imagination. He literally told me that if I delight myself, you delight yourself. And I'm not saying the word because it's in the Bible, but God told me in my spirit and said it out loud in my head and said, Deidre, if you delight yourself in me, I will give you the desires of your heart, and I will bless you with a marriage and a husband that's above your wildest imagination and more than you can ask or think. No lie. I'm not one to tell you, God told me this, God told me that, because God ain't told me a whole lot of stuff. He put it in word, but He ain't told me specifically, Deidre, a whole lot of stuff. But He told me that. So I thought the Lord was going to bless me with a husband real quick when He told me that. So after the Lord told me that, year one went by, year 3 went by, year 5 went by, year 7 went by, and I said, Lord, I know what you told me. I know. There is no doubt. But what is going on here? Year 8 went by, year 10 went by, and I'm like, nah, am I crazy? Or is Jesus crazy? I ain't gonna lie, that's what I said. Because I know what you told me. I know what you told me. And ain't no if and buts about you told me that. But something wrong here. Now we around year 10. But every time I would think, well, Lord, you told me you would bless me with a husband. Where is he? And Charles would come up in my spirit. And he would say, Charles. And I said, no, not him. Then another time, a few times a year, because I'm praying. I'm crying out to the Lord. I'm crying. I'm snotting. Y'all, one time I was at the stop sign. I was at a traffic light. And I looked over to my left, and the lady had her hand stretched out. The husband was driving, or the guy, male, was driving. She had her hand, and she was rubbing the back of his neck, his head. And I looked over, and I bust out crying at the traffic light. I said, I want to rub somebody's head. And I said, Lord, I know what you told me. But what's going on here? And he's like, Charles. I said, no, no, not Charles. Oh man, tell me the last part. You turned around and said what? I got all the way through that to the very end. I turned around and said something. But I just kept saying no, not Charles, not him. And finally, about 2 years before I married Charles, the Holy Spirit came to me again and reminded me Charles. And I said, you know what? Maybe I better start thinking about this and entertaining this because maybe it's Charles. And so I had to change my thinking. I had to change my mind and change my thinking and be receiving to what God had for me. And it's one of the best decisions of my life. Accepting Jesus Christ and having my daughter, accepting the fact that the Holy Spirit had been trying to tell me for years that Charles was it. So that's my story, with Charles. So it took a long time for me to really know and to recognize. Oh, now yeah, sometimes you gotta watch those when one person come and tells you God told me this about you, or God told me that you're gonna be my wife, or you're gonna be my husband. It's like God is not gonna have you ignorant. He ain't just talking to one party. He's gonna talk to you too. So that's just like say with Charles. Charles went home the next day after he met me at the club, told his mom, his sister bared witness to this, and told me he came home and told my mom and my aunt that I met my wife tonight. Met my wife last night. So she bared witness that that was true. So just because he felt that or God had told him that, God hadn't told me. So I had to wait to receive it in my spirit when God started telling me year after year after year, and when I finally accepted it. So to your point of your comment, no, I just really feel like God's going to tell both of us. He's not going to have you ignorant. He ain't just telling one person. He's going to tell both of you. Any other questions? We're going on 37 minutes. So I said I want to keep this between 30 minutes and an hour. Long as anybody's here and interested, we'll keep it between 30 minutes and an hour. But are there any other questions? I know I haven't covered. Well, I'm gonna go back. So I'm gonna go back to marriage, and like I said, if a question comes up, then I'll divert over to that. But I talked about communication being very important and how your communication style in your marriage doesn't have to match somebody else. You two just have to have a positive understanding for each other and be free. Be free to talk to each other about anything and any topic. Another very important part of marriage is acceptance. Accepting each other for who you are and not trying to change that person. If there is something that really needs to be changed in your husband or wife, but I know it's mostly of us ladies here, go to God in prayer with it. And I talk and I say that from experience that just constantly being in a man's ear, nagging, or trying to make him change is not going to work for the most part. There are always exceptions, but for the most part, it's not going to work. Take it to God in prayer. But sometimes God's not going to change it because sometimes it's not that person needs to change. Sometimes you might need to change, or you might just need to accept, even if you don't change, because we are different. God knows men and women are so different. I mean, I still sometimes just like get frustrated with the differences. I'm just like, oh my God, why don't you think like me? And then I have to remind myself that Deidre, you're male and female. and God made you different. Then you were born in two separate households, and God made, and so you were raised in two separate households. And then just think how different you are from the people that you were raised with in the same household with the same mom and dad. Me and my sisters are so much alike, but we're so different in many ways and raised up and have the same mom and dad. So just imagine being partnered up and living with somebody who was not even raised in your same household or not even with the same parents. And sometimes not even with the same, standards or beliefs or morals, morals, and etc. So you gotta let each other be. You gotta let him be himself. And like I said, anything that you feel needs changing, take it to God in prayer. Only God can change, especially a man. Only God can change. A woman to change to please her husband. A man, sometimes it takes God to change that man. So I dare you and double dare you and double dog dare you that what you want to change in your husband or in your man, you take it to God in prayer and let God do the changing and you do the accepting of who he is, where he is right now until God changes him. And if God does not change him, ask God to change your perspective. Lord, change my perspective on this. Don't look like he go ever change. Don't look like you go change him. I don't like this. This bothers me, whatever. But change my perspective. So sometimes it's us that need to change. We don't like to think that. And present company included, but sometimes it's us that need to change, and if not change, sometimes us just need to just be accepting, because sometimes we are who we are until either we decide to change or God changes us. So communication and being free to be yourself, which is, and of course trust. But trust is more than just like not lying to each other, or trust is more than just not cheating on each other. But can I trust you with my heart? Can I trust you with my feelings? Can I trust you with my money? Can I trust you um, with covering me, praying for me? And women, one thing I want to tell you in your marriage is your husband has to be able to trust his heart with you. If he does not trust, if you break his spirit or break that trust where he feel like he can't trust his heart with you, then what you're going to get is basically silence or a stony heart, because he has to be able to trust his heart with you. What do I mean by that? As women, I got most of that you've not been in a you have not been in a serious relationship. Um, and I know, my sister, Danica, she, she would tell you that she had one semi-serious relationship over the years, but hey, but Lord blessed her that she eventually, I think in her 40s, got married, and, and she has a husband, and she's, thriving in her marriage. So it can happen. It can happen for you. You don't have to have all this experience or have all these different relationships. It can still happen for you even without having been experienced or in all these different relationships. But just back to wives. Another thing, if like I said, if you don't leave, if you don't remember a whole lot of what I said, if you are a wife, you want to be gentle with your husband's heart. And what I mean by that is sometimes we think men are hard. We think that they don't cry like we do. They're not as maybe some as emotional. And of course, I'm generalizing, because some women might be like, I'm the hard one and my husband is the more softer one. But I just mean in general, we sometimes forget that they have a heart and they have a soft heart, and that they have a sensitive heart, and we have to be careful not to crush a man's heart, because he might not ever really tell you, because most men are gonna say, you hurt my feelings, you hurt my heart, you crushed my heart. Most men are not gonna say that. But what they're gonna do is show it in their actions, and by that they're going to not share with you as much. They're not going to tell you when something is hurting or bothering them. They're not going to tell you when you've crushed them. They're just going to stop doing certain things or saying certain things or sharing certain things. So just that, as women, sometimes we get that, we can be hard, or we're deflecting because we're hurt about something, or something hurt us, or somebody hurt us, or we're mad at something else. Then we deflect by taking it out on our husband, or we'll do something that that could hurt his heart. And um and sometimes once you do that, it's hard for him to trust you again. Oh, I got most of that. If you're considering marriage, how do you bring up these different conversations? And it's it's just it's so important that you just have to. But I would say if it's difficult though to bring up those conversations, do it in in a coaching session with a marriage counselor or marriage coaches. Now, I suggest marriage counselor, especially Christian marriage counselor or marriage coaches, because that's what I call Charles and I. And to me, the difference is we're not experts and we're not um, licensed or anything. But I tell you, 10 years, I feel like I was a marriage coach before I became a first lady. But 10 years of running a church and being pastor and first lady, believe me, we've coached and counseled many, 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 many people, and many, many people. But I don't call myself a counselor because I'm not licensed. But I do say that I'm a marriage coach because I have in-depth experience coaching many people. Like I say, even before we had our church, I would say I probably was doing it 10 years or so before that. So you have to bring up those topics, because if you do not bring up those topics, if you do not bring up those topics, it's amazing how different two people can think, and you just assume that the person thinks like you do. You just assume that you're going to handle money basically the same way. Are responsible, that you're going to be two responsible adults and handle money the same way, or handle raising kids the same way, and you just be amazed at how different you really think of things and do things. So you have to be able to, and I don't know if this sounds harsh, and I definitely don't mean it so, but you're just not ready to marry a person that you cannot discuss those topics with. I'm telling you that a wedding date should not even be on the calendar if you can't discuss, money, raising of children, how do you spend your money, how do you save your money, um, um, where vacations, retirements, all kinds of all those important, whatever those topics, sex. What's normal amount of normal amount of times to have sex to you? What kinds of things you like? What don't you like? What's off the table? What's on the table? What does it mean to be faithful? Is having relationships with the opposite sex, is that okay? To maintain those friendships, or what is cheating? If you cannot talk about all those things, there should not be a wedding date or a ring. If you can't talk about those things, but I do know it could be a little uncomfortable. So yes, you have to be able to talk about it all. Emphasis on the all. Yes, and like I said, but if you, I understand that everybody don't communicate with ease. So yes, very smart question to ask. If So everybody don't communicate with ease. So use your marriage counselor, use your marriage coach, um, and and um, and they will bring, if they're good marriage coaches and counselors, they can bring up those topics that are harder for you to broach. They can bring up those topics for you. Like I said, they're good marriage counselor, marriage coach. They should be able to bring up all of those different things for you. So please, so please make sure. Um, Hi, Cynthia. Thanks for being here. So yes, get you a marriage coach. Now, this is just me, and I was just talking to somebody about this. I don't know if I was talking about my daughter, who I was talking to, but to me, what's important in getting you a marriage coach or counselor, personally to me, I want somebody who is in a good, successful marriage. And of course, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but it's just hard for me to take coaching or counseling from you on your third and fourth marriage. I want to know, are you on your, are you in a successful marriage? Now it's one thing you got married at 18 and that only lasted 2 years, and you got married again, and maybe y'all been in the marriage now, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. Okay, I can hear from you. But you ain't but 40 something years old and you on your third and fourth marriage. I'm sorry, I just can't take your marriage advice. That's just me. That's just me. No judgment. No judgment. But if I'm gonna take marriage counseling or coaching from somebody, hi Anthony, I want to take it from somebody who, from what I see and know, you're also in a successful marriage. Yes, awesome. Yes, yes. So glean from them, and take advantage of your married friends. Being with your married friends. I know right now in COVID, it's kind of hard to get together with some people, but I like getting together with our friends and married friends and talking to them and listening to them and gleaning from them, because they're in those real life situations and they can bring up those topics that it's like, oh, I never even thought about that. We never even talked about that or thought about that. But yes, make sure you get you some, and not this, and I don't mean, this is just, like I said again, opinion only, but I don't mean, a 1 week. Some people go to marriage counseling because your state may say you got to take 2 days or 3 days. I think, to me, a good 4 to 6 week kind of course, if you have time. Now some people might be getting married sooner and don't, you only have you can only fit in, 3 days or a week. But to me, that's just perfunctory. You're just doing it because because you should go to counseling before marriage, or your state said you have to, to get so many hours in before they will issue you a marriage license. No, I think we should go a little further than that, and at least 4 to 6 weeks of a class type um, situation. Uh, you should attend, because there's so many topics that you're not even going to cover it all. you know, Let me just end this with, because we're going on an hour. We're almost an hour, so I'm gonna hang out maybe about 6, 7 more minutes, so I won't go over an hour. So if you have any questions, or topics or whatever, let me know. But um, I'm just gonna let you know a little secret. Unless you're already, living with your mate, and I don't mean specifically you, AJ, I just mean, anybody. Unless you're already living with your mate and you've lived with them for a while, and no, I'm not advocating living together, but I'm just saying, if you are in that situation, oh my goodness, I only caught part of that, but that is okay. That's a whole nother topic there too. But I'm not advocating saying living together, but I'm saying, if you're already in that situation or you make that choice, hey, we're all adults here. You make that choice. If unless you're not going to know what that person is fully like until you are in that marriage and living together on a day-to-day basis, and time passes. Charles and I, 16 years later, we've been knowing each other 30 something years. We've been knowing each other 30 something years, and we still are learning about each other. We still um, sometimes don't understand each other. Like, I just don't understand you. Well, I think it's me. He never said that once ever in our marriage, that he don't understand me. It just made me like, oh my God, I don't understand him. It just be little stuff, we just think so differently, just little stuff. But um, so you're always going to be learning your mate, but that's where you have to grow in grace, and you have, like I say, because you have to know that you're gonna always be learning your mate. You're gonna always be finding out things. You're always gonna be kind of unpeeling these layers. Vice versa. You're gonna be always changing and growing. So when he married you at age 25 or 35 or 45, but now you've been together for a while, and now you're 5 years older or 10 years older. You're not the same person. even though I got married late, I would say I was 38 years old, but right now at 55, I'm still not that same person. I'm still not that, that young girl at 38 than I am, the older hot chick that I am at 55. Still not the same. So you're going to always be learning, changing, growing. And you have to grow in grace, and you have to extend that same grace to your husband, because he's not going to be that same guy that he was 5 years ago, and 5 years from now, he's not going to be that same guy that he is now. So it's gonna, you gotta learn, change, and grow. But to the point that somebody made about seeing them at their worst, their best and their worst, that so applies to when I was talking about dating, in the dating stage. I personally don't think it takes years. It doesn't take years for to date, to decide, especially when you're older. I would say after age 30, it don't take years for a man to decide if he wants to marry you, or for the woman to decide this is the man I want to marry. It doesn't take years. However, you do want to see that person at their best and their worst, because when we're dating, all we see each other is at our best. We just see each other at our best. You want to see how that man act when he lost a job, or how does he act when he's in road rage or not road rage. You want to know how does he act when his mama got sick, and how did he act when his mom got sick? How did he act when his money was looking funny? How did he act when somebody cussed them out? How did he act when how does he treat the waiter or the waitress? How does he treat his mama? How does he treat his coworker? How does he act when he gets sick? How does he act when is he mean? How does he act when he drinks a little something? Is he a mean drinker? Or how does he act when you say no, if he asks you for something, and you couldn't give it, or couldn't provide it, or couldn't share it, or whatever? How does he act with that? You want to see in all these different scenarios at his best and his worst, because quite often we're presenting our best when we're dating. But how is he going to act when, like I say, at his very, very lowest, or you're at your very lowest? How is he going to act with you? So that's very, very, very good comment. Very good topic. So you guys, all right. So we're at 57 minutes, and I'm not gonna go over an hour, because I could talk a whole another hour when it comes to relationship. But because we're gonna do this more often, we're gonna have time. Some things will be in video form. I'll post some videos, but we're definitely gonna have. Regardless of how many videos I put out that week or don't put out that week, we're gonna have our Monday musings. If for some reason we're not going to have it, I'll put out a quick little video and say, hey, no Monday musings, but I might say something. But I'm going to try my best to be consistent, and it's going to be 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. I have to remember that because I'm international, so everybody's not Eastern Standard Time, but it will be 9:30 Eastern Standard Time on Mondays. You are always welcome again to follow me on my other social media platforms, especially IG. That's kind of where I live. Over there on Instagram. Oh, it was fun. I'm so glad to know that. Thank you, Stephanie. I'm so glad to know that, because I was nervous about this. Like I said, because I'm so. Oh, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing, because I do understand privacy. I understand privacy and anonymity and all of that stuff. So I understand that. But thank you for sharing that with me, Addie. I hope I'm saying that right. But thank you so much. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. I'm so glad. I'm so glad to know that, y'all. Thank y'all for the feedback, because like I said, I was nervous about it. Oh my God. Go on. Don't stop. Go on. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know I could go longer too, and I know people could just drop off if they want to, drop off. But it's like, I don't want to. Oh, I'm glad. Okay, good. I'm glad you replay. I'm telling y'all, I could go on another hour or two, and I know people could just leave if they want to. Okay, Sid, we'll talk. Okay, let's talk. Let's talk tomorrow night. I'll call you tomorrow evening. But you've been in my prayers, but I will call you tomorrow evening. Got a long day. My first day back at work. Oh, thank you, Miss A. I appreciate that. But yes, tomorrow's my first day back in the office at work. Last week I worked from home. My first day back. So I've got a lot, going on, a lot to do. Oh, awesome. And then going to the doctor appointment tomorrow, y'all. I have a really, really good friend, one of my best friends. When I was in the hospital, those of you who don't know, I was in the hospital for about 6 days, and I had been to the doctor in about 8 years. And one of my good friends, and she's like, "Did you not act right? You not gonna get out of the hospital and go to and make your doctor's appointments and go to your doctor." She said, "I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna set you up with all my doctors." She said, "I go to a doctor for every part." She said, "I don't just go to a general doctor." She said, "I got an endocrinologist, a cardiologist, what's the neurologist." She said, "My toe hurt. I go to see the toeologist." She's hilarious. And she's like, "You not gonna act right and make no appointments. I'm gonna make all your appointments." So she calls and tells me, "Deidre, you have an appointment Tuesday with Dr. So-and-so." I said, "Okay." So I have an appointment tomorrow. So I'm gonna go work, go to my doctor's appointment, and then when I get home later in the evening, I'll call you set. So something I wanted to just say thank you guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for the feedback. Because, like I said again, as much as I love YouTube and I've done it. Okay, I like that. Okay, but that's a very good idea, and I will do that. But that's why I say I know everybody don't do Instagram and follow me or not follow me, but I'm inviting you, that anybody who wants to see, because I love taking pictures of my food. So I take pictures of my food, and that's the easiest way, is just take my picture of my food and upload it to Instagram. So the same name that you see here, So Blessed Wine, and I saw where I had 4 or 5 new followers yesterday, and I know they came from my YouTube family. So thank y'all for coming on over to Instagram and following. But I welcome you, because that's where you can see quickest, and that's where, like I say, I love engaging with people. So if you send me an inbox message, we go engage. So you're welcome to send me inbox message or anything like that. And also too, over on my Instagram, I've done many giveaways. It sounds unfair because YouTube is my home. Y'all my peoples, y'all my peeps, y'all my community. And be like, "Didn't what you doing over on Instagram giving away money? What about us over here on YouTube?" It's just so much easier. It's easier to just put up a post on Instagram and say, "Hey, I'm doing a giveaway. Do this or do that." Whatever my instructions. Or sometimes it's like there aren't any instructions. I will just say, "Hey, I chose somebody who but you gotta have Cash App. Cash App or Zelle. Cash App or Zelle. Those are the only 2 ways that I do my giveaways. So, and I'm going to do some YouTube giveaways too, because like I said, this is my home. This is my community. Y'all my peeps. And I know a lot of people don't want to be following me all around Instagram, Facebook, and all of that. So I understand that. So, but I'm inviting you, because So Blessed One on Instagram. That's the quickest way that we can engage, quickest way you can see what I'm eating, quickest way to participate in my giveaways, because I love giving, and I'm thankful to be blessed to be a blessing. So I invite you to come on over to So Blessed One on Instagram. All right, you guys. But I will make some videos here also about my new way of eating, but I gotta get some experience under my belt about this new way of eating, because I ain't been eating healthy but a week or so. So I gotta get some experience under my belt, you guys, before let me tell y'all how to lose weight. Let me tell you how I lost 5 pounds. Okay, see, like my mama said, y'all gonna make me out of a lie. That's what my mama said. My mama said, "Oh, you ain't gonna make me out of a lie. I'm gonna get you." Y'all gonna make me out of a lie because I said I wasn't going over an hour. All right, you guys. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. This was so much fun. Thank you for hanging. Thank you for the feedback. And like I said, hope to see you over on Instagram. But if not, I'll see you back here in the blessed place in a little while. And each Monday night, 9:30. Love y'all. Y'all be blessed.